Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the north, and with Team 2 in the southeast. I'm going to slow down just a little bit, so we don't have time for early introductions and gameplay cover. Starting off with Team 1's northernmost player, it is Active Backlash going first land in Batman Gray. He is a Cybern at a 1200 rating. To his south, we have Mav 7119 going first there as a Seraphim. He is in Barbie Pink at 1000 rating. To his east in Chevy Crimson is Will-O-Wisp going first land. He is a Cybern, a 2100. He is the highest ranked player on Team 1 and in the game overall, and he is going first land. Third Cybern here on Team 1 is Blissful Noob going first land. He is an Amethyst Purple, and he is an 1800. In Glow in the Dark Green, we have Sizalon going first air as an Aeon. He is a 1400. And last but not least for Team 1 in Emerald Green, we have the UEF player of Sinizig? I think that's how you say that. Going first land as a UEF, he is a 1200. Probably did not say his name right. Apologies for that. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have one of each of the factions at a minimum with a triple major in Cybern technology. Starting up for Team 2, southernmost player in Light Oak Tan, we have Sailor Moon going first land as a UEF. He is a 1400. In Rush to the north, we have Seastar going first land as a UEF. He is a 1400. In Orange to Color Orange, we have Telemazer going first land as a Cybern, very befitting his name. He is an 1800, the highest ranked player on Team 2. In Forest Green, we have Smithers going first land as a Seraphim. He is a 1600. In Ruby Red, we have Bettaji Savopokon, or Bettaji for short, going first air as a UEF. He is a 1500. And last but not least, there's another UEF here for Team 2. It is BJ going first land. He is in Pac-Man Yellow, and he is a 1200. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 4 UEF, 1 Seraphim, and 1 Cybern, which means Team 2 does not have access to Aeon technology. Let's take a look at the reclaim here for our players to scoop up. We have 17,000 reclaims. So for 12 players, that's a little bit under 1,500 mass per player. It is definitely worth going after, especially with it being very just kind of everywhere. Large concentration of it being in the southwest and northeastern corners. And speaking of those corners, there are a lot of mass points here. None of it in the water here, but a ton of mass points here in the southwest and northeast corner. We do have a couple of Trimexes in those corners and also some Trimexes on the sides as well. But a lot of this combat will be in those corners for grabbing all of those mexes. We even see at 2 minutes, comms already leaving their main bases. Let's go ahead and bring this game up back to 0 and see what our players are starting to do and travel around the map. We see everyone except for Team 1's Maeve moving outward in some sort of direction. We have 1 player going for the water here in the middle. That's Blissful Noob. 2 for the west and 2 for the east. Team 2, we have 1 player on Team 2 going. This is BJ going for the naval facility there. We do have Better G. It looks like he's getting a transport, so in lieu of his comm moving, he's going to use his engineers. And we see 3 players on Team 2 divert westward, with the only player remaining of Seastar staying in his main base. And it is looking like our teams will just fan out for a little bit. I'm going to speed it up just a tiny bit because it's going to take a minute for everybody to walk there, as well as the engineers to either, walk or trundle, I think is what it's called when they're on tracks, or float, whatever the case may be. Facility here in the water has been established here by BJ. He's going for those frigates, trying to naval lock Team 1. The not naval slot, but at least the area of the map here with this water, it's in the middle of the map. It's very central to the game, but will it be central to the actual outcome of the game? We'll have to see as time goes on. Team 1 going for the first upgrade of the game. It is Maeve 7119. He's a Seraphim, so he's going for gun speed and range. He's not on the front lines, but it's very interesting that he is going for that upgrade. Maybe he will use his comm more aggressively, but for now, he's in his main base, so I don't really see him using it to full effect for the time being. We do see some transports here in the south for Team 2, it looks like. The team, Yeah, only Team 2. Team 1 not really opting to go for the southwestern side. We just see some comms here on this hill, whatever you want to call this thing. I guess it's a hill. Just establishing some facilities for some coverage in that area of the map. But it does look like there's really also not a lot of focus on Team 2 for going in the northeast direction. But at this point, Team 1 is going to grab the northern section. Team 2 is going to grab the southern section, with the middle of the map so far being naval locked by Team 2's player, BJ. Maybe we'll see Blissful trying to get into the Navy, but for now, at 5 minutes, Team 2 owns the middle of the map. Middle of the map being this tiny little pond. But on a map like this, where I can't even zoom out to see the other edges, it's a decent section of the map to grab. And I wouldn't be surprised to see at least another player on Team 1 maybe try to assist in the naval game. We do see the comm of Maeve moving eastward, so yes, he is going to try to assist in the front lines in that side of the map. And it does look like all the facilities for Team 2's Betergy are being taken out by a nice little ghetto gunship outbound from Willow. And he's just circling around. Looks like is he microing that? No, he's just constantly spinning around, attacking it. A bunch of Team 1 spam facilities going after those Medusa. Team 1 artillery to just really wreck base with this facility. And yeah, this amount of units is not really going to stop Team 1. So Team 2 is going to be essentially locked out of that corner, and Team 1 is going to be locked out of the southwestern corner. So very much shaping up to be a very interesting game here so far. Team 1 and Team 2 already lining out those battle lines, those front lines. And we don't see a lot of, again, aggression on the response from either team to go for the corners. So both teams really just saying, you can have your corner, we'll have our corner, and that will be the end of it. We do see a little bit of attention here for Team 2. Going for the corner is Betergy, going for another Team 1 facility, but he does notice that Willow is coming in with his comm personally. Betergy has no upgrades, as well as Willow. So they're going just, bare knuckle brawling going here between these two players, both the red players in the game. One of them being a 2100, one of them being a 1500, so definitely in the pro rating for both of them. We do see Willow focusing on the units, these engineers, and Betergy focusing on the comm. Betergy being now surrounded by those Team 1 Mantis. He does have a facility that I don't think it's not technically built yet. Doesn't have the icon above it. It just looks built. Looks like it was pretty close, but it just does not finish up. Betergy is going to retreat, but he's been shooting that comm of Willow the entire time. Willow's down to 6,500, and Betergy now essentially losing more hit points than Willow is. Team 2's player Betergy might be the first casualty of the game. I don't see anything else going on here in the game in terms of comm v comm action. Betergy is in the red. He's dropping very, very quick. He's trying to get out of range. It's not going to matter. He has one Lola Lobo that's going to get caught in the blast, and there he goes. Willow drops into the red, sub 2,500 hit points. First kill of the game goes to Team 1's Willow, and is now a 6v5 in favor of Team 1. Maybe we'll see a response from that from Team 2, but for the time being, the aggressive plays out from Team 2 for this eastern side will definitely slow down. We even see just wall sections being built here by BJ. He doesn't want any sort of incursion from this side of the map, so we might see a similar response here from now Telemazer, who has now gained control of Betergy's forces and infrastructure. T2 on the way here for Smithers in the west, going to probably build some PD lines, again, to establish that front line and prevent any incursions from Team 1. Both of these comms on Team 1's for Sizolan and for Sin Ziggy. Again, I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Just kind of hanging out. Just going for those upgrades. We do see that transport has been spotted by Team 1. How far will it get is the question. We'll drop right on top of that Aurora, and we'll get instantly killed off. We do see some more Team 1 tanks moving in to defend this position, but those strikers, of course, the thing they lack in terms of against the Aurora are the range. They definitely have the hit points, but the Aurora will be able to shoot at them a lot better than those strikers will be able to shoot at those Aurora. This drop might amount to some T1 mechs being taken out, but not really a whole lot. We do see another attack from the same player of Sailor Moon going after this frontline facility for Sin. And there's a couple of Lobos in here, which means this Team 1 facility will be taken out, as well as the AA nearby. And it looks like there's starting to be some sort of forward momentum here for Team 2 on this western side. Still, Team 2 holds the center of the map, and now we see an attack outbound from active backlash for that wall section. Looks like it was actually dual layered for the or at least in some sections. Those units really struggling to get through those holes. And Team 2 now has a bleeding going on here. The comma BJ now going to have to move over and deal with this incursion himself. Team 1 PD trying to be built. That's definitely not going to be built in time there, engineer, and you're going to die. And also on the eastern side, Willow coming in with his forces as well. So Team 2 suffering 2 incursions from the same side, mind you, but still 2 incursions from Team 1. Looks like Team 1 has batted away the incursion to the west. So this is the main line of attack here for Team 1. And they're getting in pretty far. They're getting pretty close to Team 2's main bases. Even the facility here for BJ actually being control kit and soon to be reclaimed, focusing on Navy alone. He has T2 Navy online. Now he has those cruisers, and they're spamming out those missiles, and that's going to be really deadly here for Team 1. A couple games ago, we saw somebody playing Missile Command, and that we can see how those missiles definitely just annoy land players. We do see C-Star coming in with his commander, and T2BD being the base here for Smithers. Smithers has T3 Air on the line, and I would assume that his mirror of Team 1, yep, he has T3 Air as well, with Sizoan at T2 assisting as well. And T1 energy storage goes off a couple of T1 P-gens, but honestly not really a huge amount of issues there. The engineer going to just get ransacked by those Mantis. Almost finishes off a buzzkill, but just doesn't even continue it. T1 mass storage is being built to assist with eco production, and now going to try to spam up a T1 facility. Engineers being targeted, of course, to prevent the construction of said PD. It looks like that might be a cruiser. I think that's a cruiser. And Team 1 getting a lot of value out of these Mantis. Multiple Mexes are down, and even in the east, all of those units here for active backlash pooling with Willow. We could see in a combined attack or just Willow / active backlash getting control of everything over here. Team 2 needs to have a response to this, and it does look like that PD was built just in time, and those Mantis will be killed off. So the attack in the western side of the east side will be at least halted. We do see more units moving out from active backlash, and we see another counterattack going in here for the west for Sailor Moon, trying to edge out Sizoan, but Sizoan has gun speed and gun range, so that will force back these units and give him some nice efficiency on board that Aeon Commando, the sole Aeon in the entire game. We might see a Paragon. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen a Paragon, so that'd be great to see one. I just know that the game works. I don't know who wins or loses. I just know that the game works. So, and that there's no desyncs. Well, scratch that. There's like a tiny desync at the very, very end, and it's essentially what I could tell is very obvious that it was just not really going to matter. I think it was the last, not even minute, I think. We do see an attack outbound from active backlash once again, coming from both the north and the east of the eastern side. C-Star coming in to assist the defense of this naval facility. T1 PD that was built by those engineers will eventually be taken out, unfortunately. But now we see some Voltus coming online here. Nice quick response units to deal with this incoming threat. T2 PGen should be targeted primarily over the TMD that's built. I mean, PGen's definitely, I think, a little bit more worth it, especially with the naval concern. Naval units just soak up, energy, 180 negative for that one little Cooper. And all this is doing is giving Team 2 more time to build more defenses and make their space more, defendable. And that's the downside with constantly raiding all the time, is eventually your opponent just goes, okay, fine, I'm going to build some shields, going to build some PD, TMD, whatever the case may be, and just be done with it, not even worry about it. We even see some gunships coming online here for C-Star Stingers. Not great, but better than nothing. And a combined attack outbound from Telemazer and Sailor Moon going after Sizoan's commander. And this might be enough. There's some pillars in the mix as well, with some Mantis starting to surround Sizoan. He's trying to get out of that death ball that is those units. A couple of gunships try to take out the comm of Smithers, but he's perfectly fine. Strap armor over the top. That's definitely going to take a little bit more than some flak. And Sizoan, it looks like he might be the first casualty of Team 1. He drops into the red, and those strikers are surrounding him pretty well. And there are some friendly strikers coming in to try to relieve the pressure from Sin. He might get out of range. We do see Smithers, he's still attacked by that bomber. There's another run coming in. He needs to land 3 more bombs. There goes another shot, takes out another, actually 2,000 hit points. Actually, maybe 3 more. And, or maybe even 4, I should say. Saizoan, oh, it's still in the red. But it's almost at his second veterancy. That would definitely assist with getting the hit point efficiency back online. T2 hover tech now being used to deal with this T2 naval facility here from BJ. And Team 1 is now back in the Navy, or at least in the pseudo-Navy game, with only Team 2 having 1 Governor and 1 Cooper online. Unfortunately, Coopers do nothing against hover tech units. This facility for Team 1 starting to crumble here. The front line is not looking good here for Team 1. Team 2, they had some issues earlier on, but it looks like they've definitely dealt with that. Lots of pillars online. Would like to see some of those amphibious tanks, those riptides, deal with all of these blazes, but there goes the comm into the water to protect himself from incursions from those blazes, and also tries to get in close to deal with said blazes, but just can't really get into range. He needs that gun upgrade. Really do a whole lot of work. And now that cruiser, the last remaining naval unit for Team 2's BJ. Actually, there's 2 Coopers up here, to be fair. Besides that, really doesn't really have else in the tank. We have Active Backlash, has the torpedo ability online. That's really going to be helpful with dealing with these Coopers. And there's only 2 of them, so it's not too bad. He has to be a little bit careful. Those Coopers can output a lot of torpedoes. And 1 torpedo does break through those defenses on board the Cooper. Looks like the pinging does go on for Active Backlash, so Team 2 probably does notice that comm. And there's a huge group of units coming to relieve Team 1 on this western side. And Smithers might just be surrounded by T2 hover pretty soon. ASFs are starting to shift in that direction to protect that comm. Looks like he's dealt with that bomber earlier on. But we haven't seen any... Well, we've seen 1 scarce death here. Almost died here with the Saizoan in the west, and Smithers with that bomber raid against him. But besides that, no one's really been in danger of dying for at least about 10 minutes or so since Willow killed off Bettergy. The DC torpedo bombers coming after Active. He's going to be able to pop in the land here pretty quickly. That's not really a huge issue. Drop bombers going over the top once again for Team 1. Team 1's airplane getting a huge engagement on those ASFs. Oh, getting in behind them. That's... I mean, ASFs are flocking in from Team 2 to replenish forces. But they're really just giving them the business there, Team 1. And those look like the bombers have escaped. There are 3 of them now online. And Smithers is now on the dual shield coverage, being assisted by his teammate of Sailor Moon. The only thing that one of the things that the Seraphim lack in terms of units for T2 is those shields that everybody else has access to. 1 bomb hits the shield, the second one impacts next to Smithers. He's dropped below about 6,000 hit points, but he's at 2-star veterancy, so he's repping up about 92 hit points a second. He has Nano and T2, so again, decent boost in hit points. T2 PD going to force him back, and Saizoan trying to catch up to him. But again, 92 hit points a second versus 22. Second bombing run does come in. 1 more will kill him, or a couple of shots from the comm. T1 facility being nice and shield, but there goes that bomb. Will it kill off the comm? Yes, it will. Direct impact. At least that's what it looked like at the feet of Smithers. And Team 2 loses another player here at 17:20 minutes on the clock. And that will be courtesy of Team 1's air player of Blissful Noob. And Team 1 has more players going for T2 at a minimum. T3 coming online. We have T3 also coming online. So soon to be, Team 1's going to have 3 players in the air game. And Will-O-Wisp was defeated by Telemazer. Telemazer says, what? Even he doesn't believe it. I don't either. Looks like making team know that you are great. Looks like it was just a bunch of units. Looks like a bunch of Team 1 strikers. We see some, I think there's some pillars back here as well. Yeah, some bigger ticket items. Those are zappers. Yeah, this is like just a bunch of units just came after the comm of Willow. And now it's a 5v4. Still in favor of Team 1. But Team 1 has lost their highest rated player. Team 2 has lost their second and third highest rated player. That being Smithers and Bettergy. And at this point in the game, Team 1 not in the Navy, but has a decent group of units hovering in the Navy, but Team 1 letting slip past a couple of Riptides outbound from Sailor Moon. We do see 1 or 2 blazes on the shoreline, but not really enough to repel this attack. All those forces, at least in the north, do come in and try to intercept the next line of units, but killing off some T2 mechs, that's got to hurt the eco. Team 1's Blissful Noob not going to make that mistake once again. And we do see those units outbound here once again to take out these facilities for BJ. BJ has a couple of PD, but that's not going to stop this nice little hover army of Blazes and Asylum being one. And those T1 facilities are no match for the firepower on board those units. We are seeing some T1 PE spam starting to be here for BJ. And that's going to actually be primaried here by those Blazes. Probably the Giants are chewing through that armor on board those Blazes. So maybe it'll be enough to hold off. Those facilities are definitely not going to last. This one at 105 hit points still hasn't actually been taken out. These ones over here will take out this one just due to the fact that it's essentially body blocking them. And it does look like, oh, they do target it. Okay, I was going to say, are you actually going to target it? But it does look like he'll be able to reestablish himself once again. Still, Team 1 has a chance to get into the Navy and just doesn't choose to do so. 4 mexes were taken out in that engagement, so definitely worth it here for Team 2 Sailor Moon to take out some eco. And now we see the ecos start to materialize here for both teams at 19 minutes, 47 seconds, excuse me. Team 1 and 2 at about 1,000 mass income each. I think Team 2 was a little bit ahead of them, so about the same. Team 1 and 2 essentially at 50% even for map control. It's kind of hard to tell because there's a giant, pond in the middle with kind of a S-like shape cut through the middle of it. Team 2 at 4 players left. Team 1 at 5 players left. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win the game. If you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, share this video with your friends. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, thank you so very much for watching. I saw a missile just launch from that Aloha taking out a T2 Mechs here in the east. Here for C-Star. Love that play. Just one little missile launcher. Not really a whole lot of mass to go for it. Not building 4 or 5 of them. Just one. And just a couple of engineers to assist construction. Taking out 2 mexes so far. Going to go in the back, take out a third one. There might be some TMD. Well, those are Cerberus. Those are PD. So these facilities being upgraded to T3 to spam up some barracks here for Blissful Noob. And he has the ego to support it at 400 mass income, but Telemaser's at 600 almost. They're still going to launch. Is one loaded? I don't know if he's waiting to do it in barrages and just fire one after the other maybe. But he is loading them. I don't know why he's waiting to wait, but maybe he's waiting to go after the T3 land headquarters. But there are some Blicks moving in to deal with that little Aloha that is the tactical missile launcher here for C-Star. So if he wants to launch, now would be the time. Those bricks are going to come into range pretty soon. Those T1 strikers are going to do nothing to save this facility. And 3 missiles are loaded, and there it goes. Will they launch? No, they won't. So that those 3 missiles worth of mass definitely does not make it, doesn't materialize. But at least he took out some X's. He did a pretty good job of doing that. So I'd say, oh no, definitely positive, but could have kept launching to go after more mexes. This one had T2. This one was T2. There are some more TMD now being built. This one was T3. Maybe that's what he was going for in the middle there, but probably just couldn't. You can't just fire one. You have to fire in barrages to really kill those T3 mexes. It's 2 missiles, but those 2 missiles, there's time delay between the first and second, so it might be enough time to build a TMD to take out one, if not both of them. But it does look like Team 2 now reasserting themselves in the Navy once again. And finally, at 22 minutes on the clock, somebody on Team 1 goes for the Navy, and that is Sin going for his UEF facility here to the west. Bunch of engineers for Telemaser going after Reclaim. There's really nothing in the water besides the 600 one over here. I don't know what, probably it's a cruiser or something. I don't know really what's down there. I don't see any sort of model for the Reclaim. Nuke says Team 1's Willow. Yes, there is a nuke preparing to launch here for Team 2. Thank you, Will-O-Wisp, for letting me know of that. Team 2's air grid, actually multiple players getting to the air grid here, both the orange ones, both C-Star and Telemaser. As I mentioned on Team 1, we have 1, 2, 3 air facilities in the T3 variety. Crab online in the back here for Blissful Noob. And I don't see anything spicy so far. So Team 2's player, Sailor Moon, trying to end the game, or at least get ahead in the game for the time being. Usually players think about that at the 30-minute mark, but he wants to think about it earlier, which is good. You got to have a plan, and I love that. Love, love, love to see that. Shield coming online here for Saizali. He doesn't have the range upgrade, the second one, which is very interesting that he's Aeon and hasn't gone for it. Maybe he'll switch to something else? I don't know. Maybe he'll just do it now. Now? How about now? You going to build it now? No? Okay. What? Well, she's going to start after I leave. Another attack here from Sailor Moon, but unfortunately it does get spotted and intercepted by Team 1's Blissful Noob and Sin, and it won't get as much value out of it. We'll kill off a lot of the hover tech that was probably inbound for Team 2's naval facilities once again. But it does buy him a little bit more time in that regard, but there's more PD here, there's more defense, there's more units and whatnot here that's not really going to get a lot of value out of it, unfortunately. But at least we'll delay the inevitable that will be that spam. We do see that Megalith is online. It will pop into the water here. It might just be thrown at Team 2. And Team 2 does not have a, well, plan to deal with that. So that'll be definitely interesting once they spot that slow-moving experimental that is the crab. Janus over top going to be killed off by the ASFs from Team 2's Sea Star. And the ASF from Telemazer coming as well. Just to say, hey, we own the air. And I feel like Team 2 definitely has air dominance at this point. I don't see any large groups of ASF for anybody on Team 1. A couple of gunships, but that doesn't deal with the ASF horde. And it does look like Team 2 is starting to, again, materialize. You see a lot of orange, which obviously goes to show that Telemazer's at 750 and Sailor Moon's at 370. So the mass income's definitely staying about the same between the teams, but we have 2 players on Team 2 that have more than 1,000 match to their name, and it takes 3 players on Team 1 to do that exact same amount of income. So Team 2 is definitely going to scale a lot. They have been scaling a lot quicker, and that comes from the fact that Telemazer's inherited, I think, both of the bases. If not, yeah, I think he's inherited both of them. But Nuke will launch, and does Team 1 have an SMD to protect? They do have an SMD over here, and it is going to load in time. They've been heavily assisting it, which might explain the lack of ASFs. There's multiple facilities that haven't even been finished yet. And load that anti-nuke doing, what does that say? Don't start Artie, says Team 1's. Who's that? Of Maeve. The SMD will load in time. There it goes. So very close. The missile starts the turn. Would have killed off Maeve, and probably would have just ended the, well, not ended the game, but severely changed up the landscape for Team 1, killing off 1 player and taking out both the air grids, essentially. That would have been huge for Team 2, but the nuke doesn't land, but they did do a good effort about it. Maybe they'll transition to something else. He is UEF. He might just go lasers and call it a day, those Novax satellites. Still, Team 1 still don't have a facility in the Navy. Team 2 receiving another attack outbound from a hover tech unit of Sin, going after those riptides, countering what essentially Team 2 has been doing for a while. But there's a lot more PD here now due to the constant raiding that's been going on. And as I mentioned, if you raid your opponent and you don't take out the defenses, or even if you do take out the defenses, unless you do something substantial, all it's going to do is just tell the other player he's going to raid, most likely again. I'm going to build more defenses. And that could be a way to trick him into spending mass in that regard. But if you try to go out again, was that a missile that just got shot out of the sky by an ASF? Was that a missile that just impacted an ASF? Wow, I said that really weirdly. But yeah, no. An ASF shot a missile out of the sky by running into it. Anyway, it just makes this very, very more annoying to deal with as time goes on. We do see in the east a huge amount of units starting to build up here, especially for Blissful Noob. Those bricks forming that brick wall as they do, and Percy's firing off those single fire shots. And they are going to get overwhelmed here, but they are going to take some bricks with them. And the Percy's start to retreat. Don't land your ASFs here. Not the best idea. Probably should move those. Easy target for satellite, says Battergy. What? Oh, all the mechs is probably what he's talking about. Build some shields, I think is what he's getting at. With Team 1 only has 1 UEF player of Sin, though one player really thinking about UEF units and structures and all that sort of thing. Multiple facilities now coming online for him once again, so Team 1's now going to have a stable naval fleet, at least pretty soon. Team 2 hasn't built much of anything except for cruisers. It's not being heavily assisted, just scooping up that reclaim from those riptides. Team 1 being very defensive. Team 1 has to be on the offensive, essentially. There is that megalith that popped out of the water, but it's ran into a bunch of Team 1 spam. And those engineers on the water are being targeted by said experimental. Team 2 now knows about it if they haven't known about it sooner. And maybe Telly, says Willow. Oh, maybe Telly that, says Willow. Let's see, is Team 1. Let's see, we have both Active and Blissful Noob who can do that. Blissful Noob has no upgrades. Active Backlash has no upgrades except for the gun that'd be useful for teleportation and telemazer. So they have sat over us, says Blissful Noob. Yep, there it is. It's tan. It's kind of hard to see, but it is there. Team 2's UEF player of Sailor Moon has gone for satellites and will launch another nuke. It's actually going to go northward. Oh, there it is right there. Looks like it was probably built realistically early. Not early, but what's the word I'm looking for? Not early, but realistically soon. Not soon. Recent. Recent. That's the word for it. My brain is just mush. Whenever I do cast, for some reason, my brain just turns to mush. But Team 1 still has an SMD, and it's about to load once again. Team 2 is loading those. Oh, it's going to land short. Oh, that's got to hurt. There it goes. Taking out a bunch of mass here for Team 1 Sin. And that's really going to set him back. He's at 43 mass income now. Team 1 is still ahead in the mass generation by just a little bit. And he does have a T2 naval facility online. Team 2 has either lost or control K'd or both the T2 naval facility for BJ. He either, again, got rid of it or got killed. Either or. Really the only two options there. And he's not really going for it. Maybe he'll go for Atlantis. He's going for T3. That might be his way back into Navy, but it's not really going to do a whole lot against all the hover tech that exists here. And now the counter missiles are firing here from Team 1's naval player of Sin. The western side and the eastern side have kind of just been there. There's been some raiding back and forth, but I mean most of the raiding honestly has gone down between the naval side of things in the middle. We do see a large group of T1 units and some pillars, but they're not moving out. They're kind of just holding position. There is a giant crab walking forward, but there is a Colossus as well. So both teams have access to experimentals on this side of the map. And Active Backlash's Megalith still sitting there kind of hanging out, repping up as it does. Very slowly, but it does rep up. That's 0 hit points a second, but it does rep up. It's just very, very slowly. It should just be 1. But we see artillery fire. Hold on. That's actually 2 artilleries raining down on Team 2. We have 1 from Active Backlash. And where's the other one? Don't see the other one. No, that's an air grid. That's an SMD. It looked like 2 artillery shots is what it looked like. Yeah, it does get pinged by Team 2. Where's that satellite's providing a nice amount of intelligence here for Team 2. Oh, maybe it just looked... Oh, maybe... Oh, maybe it just looked like 2 artillery fire. It looks like it is just 1. Because it's fully ringed with T3 mexes. That's why it looks like it's 2 of them. Anyway, Team 2 has no shielding. They're fully exposed. The artillery targeting the nuke. There's no shield. Sailor Moon, you got to get shields online. Just put one right... Oh, there's one right here. Oh, never mind. Put another one like right here. And you should be perfectly fine for 1 artillery. Well, it is firing pretty quickly, so maybe get a 3rd one. We do see some sort of move here in the east for artillery. Maybe we'll see a Maver as well. But the Disruptor is breaking through the shields here for Team 2. There goes the shield emitter itself. And that nuke is going to die here shortly. He's going to build more shield coverage. But there is an Awasaw Bomber online T4 experimental. Very, very nice unit, both aesthetically and tactically to use. If you do use it tactically. Some people just rush it in and kill it. Or kill it off by just control K'ing it and doing the bomb. Which it did get nerfed a little bit a while back for that kind of bombing and then control K'ing and landing it on top of a target. But this amount of T3 units, definitely a nice plump target for that Awasaw to target. And there it goes in the middle of that formation. Kaboom! Takes out almost all of those units. It's killed off 32,000 mass. Broadswords come in, try to take out some of the eco here, and as well as the build power for Team 1's Blissful Noob. Second of the Megaliths are coming online. ASF Horde just protecting that bomber. A second bomb dropping from said bomber on top of those hives. Kills off all the hives. Oh, that's gonna hurt. And kicks out most of those land facilities as well, so engineers are going to be in short supply here for Team 1's Blissful Noob. We do see ASFs thinking about engaging, but they don't want to engage the Horde. I feel like one player on Team 2 should have all of the ASFs so they easily be microable, if that's a word. Oh, bomb's going to land on that T3 land headquarters. 150-something hit points left remaining. One missile will kill him. You breathe on it and it will die. And there is the Megalith being bombarded by Percy fire. Probably shouldn't drop the bomb on top of the Megalith, though, because you'll hit your own units. Definitely not what you want to do, but probably going to kill off a Percy or two. Let's see. Nope, doesn't kill off any of the Percys, but kills off all the support behind the Megalith. So that's definitely going to allow Team 2 to kill off that Megalith. And they're actually going for the T3 land headquarters. Oh, they were going to go for it, and there's a bunch of Tupacans there. ASF still guarding that bomber, and now the bomber going to be redirected either to the Megalith or to the Horde of Hover that is coming over here for Team 1's Blissful Noob. He's attacking both in the northeast and the middle. Going to land, kill off just a decent amount of units just with the initial bomb, and also kill off some ASFs. I think that was definitely some friendly fire there from Telemazer. Oh, that's never a good sign. A lot of ASFs on Team 1 being taken out. Sorry, Team 2 being taken out by Team 1's AA. 33 minutes on the clock. Attack in the west here, spearheaded by a bunch of brick walls. And Team 1, where is your Colossus? Well, it looks like that died there. The crab. I don't see the Colossus. Either retreated or died off somewhere else. I don't see it anywhere. It's not in the water. Cruisers coming in, taking out a lot of ASFs as well. Team 2 just suffering in taking out the AA department. And there's a ton of ASFs they've already lost just due to some static and mobile. We do see some T2 artillery here from these clink hammers going off against those cruisers. Another nuke. That nuclear facility did not get taken out. It's killed off 40,000 mass. That's its one and only nuke that has landed. And we have now dual artilleries launching here from the north. We have active backlash just pumping those out. Team 1 going for the artillery game. Third one coming online here pretty shortly. We do see nothing else online for Team 1 in terms of the in-game department. We see another air grid starting to be proliferated here for Team 1. That nuke might land short. There are multiple SMDs online, and it is going to land short. Take out Blissful Noobs, or at least some of his facilities. That's going to hurt. And Maeve not going to get singed by that, just right outside the radius of it. But we'll have a nice little view of that giant explosion from that UEF nuke launcher. Nuclear. I say nuclear. Someone pointed out to me, I think it was yesterday or the day before. But I say nuclear instead of nuclear. I don't know why I say it like that. I just do. But first person to point that out to me. Didn't know I said it like that until I read it and went, oh yeah, I do say it like that, huh? And then I don't think I'll change it because I think I like the way I say it. Anyway. Bomber flying over a bunch of AA. Definitely not what you want to do there, Bomber. He's at 100,000 mass killed, almost up to 5-star veterancy. Needs 18,000 mass more killed. It looks like the artillery now targeting the resourcing options here for Telemazer. Team 2 at 1.5 income. Team 1 at 1.2. They took a chunk. Team 2 took a chunk out of Team 1 with that bombing earlier. And especially with the attack in the east, just killing all of this mass. There's one facility still online here for the northeast. There's a couple of AA, or it's just flak cannons and mobile, but not really a whole lot remaining in this line of Percy's not stopping. We also have the satellite over here for Sailor Moon just wrapping kills up. He's already at 36,000 mass killed. I love how he does get a veterancy and how his regen does go up, but not the actual facility that it's like housed by, because it's technically two separate units. I just think it's funny. But the Hoursaw finishes off that base. That Megalith will just die. Well, not die, but it just will be slowly deteriorating because it's not being constructed eventually. Fat Boy pushing forward on the western side of the map, on the east side of this approach. We do see a Colossus online for Saison. And we do see a lot of shields overlapping bases here for Team 1 trying to protect one another. But they have, again, still a pest problem here from these Percys. Just coming in and wrecking shop. And Team 2 not probably going to use their Awasaw over here. There's enough AA and ASFs here to just kill it in one shot. and more AA just being placed everywhere. ASFs just might engage one another over AA. This will only benefit this will benefit Team 2 too, but still Team 2 will take a huge hit out of it. Just due to the fact that just more AA, more and more AA. Does Team 2 have a counter to that? Or you're doing, well, they're doing that instead. They're building this. They're building the YOLO. They're building the Yolana Os experimental missile launcher. And that's definitely going to be, I assume Team 1 knows about it. Oh, yeah, they know about it. They haven't had a little ping on it. Oh, yeah. Literally as I say something. All I have to do is say something, and then they'll do it. But Awasaw drops over here. I thought it wouldn't actually come over here, but it did. I think it actually died off screen. Oh, no, it died right here. Look at that. Tried to go after the artillery. Actually, artillery takes a hit. And the mass here from the Awasaw will help finish off the last disruptor. So 3 disruptors will be online for Team 1. That is a large amount of artillery fire raining down on Team 2 constantly. Looks like there's a... Maybe that's going for Billy Nuke, for Sin. But he doesn't really have a lot of eco to play with, so it's going to be a little bit slow going. Air grid taken out. T3 air facility still online. Team 2 has not as much air facilities as Team 1. Team 1 could just pump out ASFs and just pummel Team 2. They also have all the AA to hide behind as well, so definitely the best of both worlds. Team 2 has neither of that. But Team 1 is focusing on going for the just artillery play, which does work, and I've seen a lot of games where artillery wins the game. But in this sense, if Team 2 can keep that YOLO online and Team 1 doesn't try to counter it with a bunch of SMDs, I only see 4 of them, excuse me. So that is enough to hold off a YOLO. But they have to be a little bit closer together, I feel like. And there is an Atlantis online in the middle here, and it's actually emerged from the water. Very surprisingly, we hardly see these actually come out of the water. They only come out of the water to, launch their ASFs, their bombers or whatever, and then go back under. But never just up there just to be up there. And this is the downside. They have a decent AA camp. Okay, now they emerge or submerged. I was gonna say they should just submerge. Not that there's a lot of attack power from the cruisers or the one destroyer, but still something is better than nothing in that regard. And the missiles can try to target it as well, so that's never a good thing. BJ actually getting bombarded currently by artillery fire. Actually, takes out all those clink hammers. He needs to get in the water, I think, at this point. Artillery lands, takes out some hit points, and there he will go underneath the surface to protect himself from artillery fire. But the missiles raining in definitely doesn't help his situation, as well as the artillery directly firing on top of him, taking out said defenses. YOLO still... no, it's actually stopped production for the time being. Shields are the main focus here for Team 2. Definitely what they should be focusing on. No point in building a experimental if halfway through it dies because you didn't have enough shielding. But Team 1, it looked like Team 2 was just going to steamroll them. Well, they are kind of in the western side of things. The Colossus gets killed off, and Maeve with his comm is on the front lines, has the splash. I think that's the splash upgrade, and the nano, and the gun. 3-star veteran has some Rambo preset commanders with the AoE, which is massive here. Those things are annoying to deal with. I even had a thumbnail just for those one things. But they are starting to be bombarded by bricks, and Team 1 is now responding with some bombers. It's going to take a while to chew through all those bricks, though. And those SACUs, I mean, 40,000, almost 50,000 hit points are a ton of hit points. But if you have enough T3, units, it can be enough. We do even see some artillery coming in and take out those bricks over here. But Nuke will launch once again. It'll kill off a lot of the AA and the cruisers here in the bay. And looks like Maeve will hold off that brick wall for the time being. But shield is down. Oh, kills off I think that was a Rascom that died. Takes out one Mechs there. And Sin will have to retreat as well. Oh, that's going to hurt. That is going to hurt. We had a nice little bomber take some shots from the satellite. And one brick still is pushing on through. I heard a billion. Oh, no, there's the nuke. Does land. Kaboom! Takes out all of that. And it does look like that laser in the sky will do some damage to the comm. Comm at 17,000 mass only has the regular missile online, but still you can do some damage with that. Usually I see it upgraded to the Billy Nuke, but, you know, the basic missile does do damage. And Fat Boy in the north here for Team 2. Team 1 being very hemmed in the northwestern corner. That's essentially all they own at this point. Team 2 owns, you know, more than 70% of 65, 70% of the map at this point. There are a couple of strat bombers building up here in the northeast corner. It could be very interesting to see if they go after the artillery. There's some shield. It definitely needs more on this eastern side, though. Getting a lot of overlap here from Maeve's bases, but again, how's that Maver doing? That's in the yellow now, so it is progressing slowly, but it is progressing nonetheless. Satellite has been neglected here by Sailor Moon, going for the nuke. It's killed up 100,000 mass, and again, I feel like at this point there's some ASFs, you know, fighting one another, but there's not really a lot of huge things going on. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. Still, that Fat Boy on the north doesn't have any protection. Could build some flak on board that mobile factory that is the Fat Boy. It's literally it's not even mobile, like experimental artillery. It's experimental mobile factory that just happens to have really good artillery on it. So the Fat Boy is going to be killed off here. There's no AA coming to his rescue. There's a lot of shields on its way, but the main shield is about to fall here pretty shortly. Lots of ASFs trying to protect. Oh no! Oh, I am mistaken. That experimental gets away, and artillery still raining down on now the YOLO's position. Don't know why the YOLO wasn't the primary target here for Team 1. But it's already at 50%. I have sped it up. I will slow it down just a little bit. And that is closing in on 75% complete here for Team 2. It looks like multiple teammates. We have Telemazer and C-Star working on it. We also have some engineers outbound from Sailor Moon to come assist with some sort of regard. Looks like they're actually trying to get in there and actually support. But some of them are, of course, supporting the construction and maintenance of the T3 shield, protecting everyone. I like how there's just a line of SACUs just here. They're not doing anything, they're just here. And they have received some fire. And both teams now in turtle mode, essentially trying to protect one another as best they can. I don't see, again, any game enders from Team 1. Another artillery being built. This is an emissary. Oh, it's an SACU that died. I heard it in my right ear, so I was like, wait, it's going on from over there. There is, excuse me, a Scathus being constructed. More shields are going to be built, but you're going to fight a nuke with artillery. You need more SMDs. You know that the YOLO exists. And one of the only ways to really counter the YOLO is a bunch of SMD. Or just a bunch of artillery. The only issue is if you can't pierce the shielding, then that's it. Literally, it's one shield protecting a couple of T3 air facilities, another shield, a PGen, and a bunch of engineers. Looks like all the engineers from Sailor... Oh, no, they got in. Look, they're assisting. Look at that. But everyone come and assist is essentially what this game is showing you. Everyone come and assist. Come and assist the shielding. We have Cybern, UEF, and Seraphim Tech all assisting the construction of a Seraphim T4 game ender, that being the YOLO. Everyone plays a part. Don't need to know about the mass fabs. See what else is going on. We have another attack outbound from the sea, this time with some Perseus, and those Perseus just giving those SACUs the business. The overcharge killing off groups of Perseus though, and they're constantly rotated in and out. Oh, that one's at 2,500 hit points. It does look like did the Perseus have better range than the SACUs? Nuke launching once again. Let's check out those SACUs. Oh, no, actually, yes, they barely do, I think. The Perseus, this is from... Nope, that's the wrong... No, that's red play. Oh, yeah, they definitely have the better range. And they're going after the commander. Commander has taken some shots. 50,000 hit points, though. It's going to take a while to chew through. And now those SACUs coming back. Most of those Perseus have now grouped up. And now all the Perseus firing on Maeve's commander. Maeve needs to get out of there. I don't know why he charged back forward. Oh, a lot of shots get missed by the Perseus. 9,000 hit points. More shots coming in. 7,000 hit points left. SACU dies. Nuke lands somewhere. Oh, SACUs die. In the west, Nuke goes off. Kills off a couple of frontline facilities. The calm of Maeve survives. Chicken will come in and deal with the remaining Percy's. Actually no, excuse me, Bricks are lining up for the slaughter quite literally. They need a formation move to realistically engage that chicken. And any experimental for that matter. They need to line up all of them fire at the same time. And all of that. Atlantis re-emerging from the water once again with its AA cannons. Now, there are some units on board, and they will launch from their construction holds. No. I thought they were launching. Oh, it's disappointing. I thought they were launching. That's sad. What's in there, actually? Building some T1 bombers, it looks like. That's a lot of T1 bombers. I'm just going to stockpile them inside of its hold. And the nuclear experimental has been completed, and it's about to launch its first YOLO missile. The nuke down here about to load as well. And another satellite has been constructed. Got to launch that thing immediately. The missile was built. There it goes. I love to watch this thing power up. And just fire off into the sky. There it goes. And it's going to launch all the way after those artillery. Artillery got taken out by strat bombers. At least I think that. Yeah, no, those are strat bombers from Team 1. No, those definitely look like strat bomber wrecks, to be fair. Yeah, there's some right there. Yep. So Team 1 has lost 2 of their 3 artillery pieces. That's never a good sign. And YOLO is flying over the top. SMD, is 4 loaded in that one, 1 loaded in that one, 2. So we got 7. None in that one, none in that one, and none in that one. So Team 1 definitely should have been, cognizant of the YOLO. Second one will launch after a couple more missile launches. That might be it. Strat bombers going after more defenses, clearing the way for other ground units. Going after, there's nothing down there of note besides artillery. Fat Boy was taken out in the north. BJ builds another experimental. It's a Fat Boy this time. He's still sitting over there. He's hanging out, stockpiling bombers. Don't know why he's stockpiling those. Maybe he'll just launch them all at once, but there it goes. YOLO is outbound. Looks like there's been multiple orders just for this one position. First one launches, second one launches. There's another SMD down here. Actually, there's 2 of them over here. But 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 SMDs are online. They are loading. And we have Saison assist in the construction of that Scathus. And we have all the assistance for Blissful Noob going for those SMDs, protecting said Scathus. I don't know if Scathus is the play, only because Team 2 is highly focused on one point. The Scathus is very good for a wide berth. Essentially, you have a bunch of shields online. You can hit them multiple times with those, shells that constantly impact. But, Mabor is definitely the choice for this because it'll pierce the shields very, very quickly. Oh, SMDs launch their anti-nukes. And I feel like Team 1 is just holding off the inevitable at this point. They've lost the western side, being invaded by both satellites and Percy's. In the east, we have just T1 spam here from the Zuris up on from Telemazer. And the YOLO over top constantly launching, 48 minutes on the clock. And I feel like Team 2, unless the YOLO just magically disappears, there's no tele-defense except for maybe 1 shield preset and the comm of Telemazer himself. He has laser. But if Team 1 were to teleport in a comm right about here, they could easily kill that YOLO off. He would probably die, but they would definitely breathe a sigh of relief. Third satellite coming online here, outbound from C-Star. Team 1, oh, there's the nuke. The nuke is going to land. That's going to hurt. Going to take out a chunk of Team 1's grid. Oh, SMD's going down. Does the satellite die from a YOLO, I wonder? Maybe it's too high up. And will the Scathus be taken out? And Blissful Noob control Ks. And there's the desync. Essentially warned you about active backlash control Ks. And essentially at this point now it's just the beginning of the end. Saison control Ks. And now it is Maeve and Sin remaining. And like I said, at this point I feel like we can call it for Team 2. Let's speed this up. YOLO gonna land essentially the same spot. take out some ASFs and probably another SMD, actually. No, SMD. Oh. No, actually barely survives that. Look at that. Distance. Going to read out. Scathis is not going to finish in time. And Team 1 had 3 artillery online, just could not seem to kill the one YOLO. Had they targeted that constantly, maybe they could have taken it out. But, I mean, like I said, they didn't they knew about the YOLO for a while and did not prioritize SMD coverage. And there goes Team 1's player, Sin, just control K'ing everything that he owned. And everything else he had control over. And Maeve is the last person standing here for Team 1. And at 50 minutes and 20 seconds, like I said, this game is over. Last missile is flying over top. Will it kill the comm, or will he control K or teleport out? And at this point, he might just be cooked by that nuke. And he's actually going to try to walk out of range. Unfortunately, my friend, you might still be in range of that. There he goes. Yep. He is killed off by Telemazer. Team 2 wins the game at 51 minutes. Actually, 50 minutes, 55 seconds. And for MVPs, I got to give it to Team 2's Telemazer. He really just forced it down Team 1's throat. I mean, he was attacking in the west a little bit, attacking in the east, attacking down the middle, attacking with the YOLO, of course. Just constantly just not letting up. And BJ played a huge supporting role. And, I mean, Team 1's really main point of attack was either the east in the very beginning or down the middle with the hover tech, and Team 2's BJ held the line, but I think he gets the underrated player of the game board, and Team 2 was also building his Scathis, because why not? He's got to spend that mass somehow. Well, let me know down in the comments who you would pick as unrated or underrated and MVP. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Please subscribe, please like the video, and of course share this video as well. I greatly appreciate all the time and attention you pay to it, and I will see all of you in the next one.